Hello, Sun City residents. This is Rusty Bradshaw, and I'm here to give you some highlights from the Sun City Homeowners Association Roads and Safety Committee meeting that just took place a little bit ago. Pam Schwartz Hall, president of the committee, reported that the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors denied the land use request by the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad for their multimodal transportation hub that was going to take place up on Grand near Whitman. But that does not kill the project. They will continue with it, expecting completion in 2030. But the railroad is now selling off some of that land, and there is certain to be some appeals for that project and the land use denial, and residents in that area will continue to oppose it because they don't want the extra traffic and noise and pollution. Pam also introduced Tom Herman from MCDOT, who is filling in for the representative who had been coming to those meetings but is now retired. Mr. Herman said there was a lot of projects in the pipeline, and they were mostly pavement restoration projects for Sun City, and they will provide notice to residents in the affected areas. However, they don't always know which specific streets the crews will be working on. Deputies from Maricopa County reported that in October, there were 799 calls for service. The top 3 calls were for welfare checks, false burglary calls, and vehicle crashes, in that order. Among those 799 calls, there were 12 assaults, 22 burglaries, which probably happened in summer, but now the snowbirds are coming back and finding out that their home was burglarized. There were 3 vehicle thefts. There were also 5 warrant arrests. MCSO also had 104 traffic stops, with 62 of those ending in citations. They also highlighted 2 specific calls. One was at the Grand Center on Grand Avenue. It was for a trespass call. 2 individuals were found to be there. They displayed drug paraphernalia and narcotics. That case was sent to the Department of Public Safety for further tests to make sure that they had the correct charges. Those tests showed that fentanyl was present and that the 2 individuals had extensive criminal histories. The other case was the felony theft for electric bicycles at Fairway Center on Peoria Avenue. And they mentioned this because the deputy service aides were involved. Now, that's a program that assists deputies with certain cases, but the DSAs are not involved in calls where there could be a crime in progress. However, while the deputies were investigating this bicycle theft, one of the DSAs saw an individual riding a bike that fit the description that of the bicycle theft at Fairway, and that led to an arrest. And it also led to a suspect in another bike theft. Fire Chief Rob Schmitz shared statistics for the fire department, which can be found on their website. But he also talked about one of the stats in particular, the auto aid given and auto aid received, which was almost dead even. However, he said that Sun City receives a lot more than shows in those stats because they don't have some of the specialized equipment or vehicles. So say if there's a gas leak, they don't have a hazardous response truck, so they need Peoria or Surprise to help them out with that. Also, if all three of Sun City's trucks and the ladder truck are on calls, then someone from Peoria or Surprise or El Mirage have to come in, and that's where that comes in. Arlene Cousinart from the Posse said that the vacation watch is starting to decrease. And the Prides reported that the county is working on weeds in the common areas. Other notes from MCSO, their new substation is supposed to be open in the first week in December. There was to be an open house this month, but that has been rescheduled. They don't have a date yet, and that is to be determined. If I can get information on that, I'll pass it along to you so that you can go and check out their new substation. In answer to a question, their motorcycle division has been disbanded, but recruiting is at an uptick. In the current recruiting class, there were 65 members, but through attrition, that has dropped into the 40s. And again, in answer to a question, Cousinart said the Posse's donations are down this year compared to last year, saying that they get notes from some of the donors who say they wish they could send more, but they just can't. Recruitment, however, is up for the Posse. The problem with that is that some people who join, they're there for a month, a few weeks, a month, and discover it wasn't what they expected. Sun City Homeowners Association President Ed Van Ness reported that 3 new members were elected to the board, 2 new ones, and 1 incumbent was reelected. The incumbent was John Turco, and the new members are Lee Reeves and Carla West. He also mentioned that for the first time in history, SCHOA and RCSC are beginning to work more closely together, but he said that SCHOA needs to get the word out a little more than they have about what SCHOA does. And it was also reported earlier that Roads and Safety Committee President Pam Schwartz-Hall was voted to be Vice President of the county's Transportation Committee. And if you have a concern about transportation or roads or safety in Sun City, attend the Roads and Safety Committee meeting. They meet the 3rd Wednesday of every month. The next meeting will be at 10 o'clock, December 17th, at the SCHOA office on Coggins Drive. So that's it for the highlights from the Roads and Safety Committee, and I want to thank you very much for watching.